Oh why did I think that this was a good idea to watch Baywatch nights? Different from Baywatch days. Yeah. I'm still at it. We are on season 1, episode 7, Pressure Cooker. Which, someone's gonna feel a lot of pressure, I'm guessing. And, I don't know, maybe it's a chef. Maybe this has to do with cooking food. I don't know. I'm tired of coming up with intros for this. I'm tired of doing this in the first place. Why? Why am I continuing? I'm committed. And by the end of this, I will be committed to Menso. I've already lost my mind. Let's just get on with it. So we start off with a trio of guys who look like they cook meth in their house. Well, 2 of them do. The other one kind of looks like Andy Samberg. And, he's the wimpy, nervous one, because the head guy is going over the plans, and Andy Samberg is the good getaway guy, but he's really nervous, and he's like, I think I know the plans, and he recites the plans and whatever. So they cut to this chicken place, which I think is funny because I just was saying that these guys look like they cook meth. And then we cut to a fast food chicken restaurant. But not like fried chicken. It's like the broiled chicken. God damn, those chickens look good. They're like tiny little mini chickens. And I'm hungry. Why am I recording this on an empty stomach? But apparently this chicken place has been robbed 5 times in recent weeks. So the Hasselhoff Detective Agency is on the case. Undercover. David Hasselhoff is pretending to be a cashier, while Garner is in a chicken suit. Because apparently he's like the chicken suit mascot guy who stands outside and brings your orders if you're in the drive-thru. Which is interesting. They should bring that back. I mean, I don't know if it'd be bringing back, but I'm thinking of the 50s where you're in your car and the waitresses come and bring the food to you. They should do that, but a chicken. A guy in a chicken suit. I'm a visionary. Well, I guess the writers of Baywatch Nights are the visionaries. So, up pulls the car and it's our meth heads. Well, they're not meth heads, they're meth cookers. They're not even really meth cookers. And the 2 of them, the 2 non-dorky Andy Samberg ones, go into the restaurant. Now, are they the ones that keep hitting the chicken restaurant over and over? Or is it different people each? Why would you keep hitting the same place? Especially when you're not wearing masks. Because at some point, they're going to kind of get your face well, I've seen this guy so many times, I can recite his face by memory. And this one looks like Andy Samberg. And the police sketch artist is like, who? Andy Samberg, we have never heard of him because he has not... I mean, he probably was born yet, but he hasn't become famous yet. So we don't know who this Andy Samberg guy you're talking about is. But we'll draw the picture from your memory because these guys with no mask keep hitting the same chicken restaurant. Or maybe, I don't know, that's the way it sounds. Maybe it's from different franchises, but they're just kind of, Hasselhoff and Gardner are just kind of counting on, well, this is probably the one they're going to hit next. And hopefully today. I don't know, was this their first day? Have they been, just undercover, for a week doing this? How did they know that these guys were going to hit this restaurant? They are just... I guess they just got lucky. They got lucky. So, they're emptying the cash register, and then they go to try to get the time lock safe, which David Hasselhoff is, kind of guarding. He's like, oh, it's going to take 6 hours. I can't open it. And the guy's like, I can't wait for that long. And then Hasselhoff throws a chicken at him. Yes, he throws a piece of chicken at him. And that knocks him out momentarily. And there was a lot of action. And I'm going to try to explain it and not rewatch it. because there was a lot of action, and now it's all jumbled in my mind. But Gardner, because he was on the floor, because, everyone on the floor, but he jumps up and pulls out his gun on the one guy, and he's like, drop your gun. And he's like, no, you can't make me. And then the head guy who got hit by the chicken, and Hasselhoff's trying to beat him up, but then he grabs the girl cashier and has his knife, and he's like, oh yeah, because Hasselhoff took the gun. That's what happened when he threw the chicken. He took the guy's gun, but the guy still had a knife, and he grabbed the girl cashier, and he's like, you drop your gun, or I'm gonna cut him. And meanwhile, Gardner has over-controlled the meth head number 2. He's like, well, you drop it, or I'm gonna blow his brains out. And they're like, yeah, whoa, cops don't take hostages. Like, we're not cops. Yeah, because they're badass detectives. And you let go of the girl, or he's gonna blow your buddy's heads out. And the guy's like, yeah, I'm gonna take this girl hostage, and I'm gonna leave. Like, yeah, I'll figure out later. I'll save you, dude. And the guy's like, no, don't leave me. He's like, we'll come back for you. And he gets into the car with Andy Samberg, and they drive off. And the other guy that they left behind then overpowers Gardner, and he runs off. But then he gets hit by a car. And I think it's the getaway car. And Hasselhoff jumps on the hood of the car, and he jumps on top of the perp, and they're struggling when Gardner comes, and he has his gun, and he sticks it in the bad guy's ass. And he says, freeze, or you're going to be wearing your butt as a hat. That is an actual quote. You don't believe me? I will pull it up. I will show you. He says, wear your butt as a hat.
Freeze, or you'll be wearing your butt for a hat. Wearing your butt for a hat? It's colorful.
See, I told you he said it. Oh yeah, and Wes, I rewinded, I forgot to mention that when David Hasselhoff was tussling with the perp bit Hasselhoff on the foot. That's... Because, you can't go mano a mano with David Hasselhoff. So you're going to have to go to dirty tactics, and that's going to include biting his foot. So the real police come to take away the bad guy. So that wasn't the getaway car. Or if it was the getaway car, they ran off because just the one bad guy is captured. And the police laugh at, Gardner, because remember, if you remember from an earlier episode, Gardner used to be a real police guy. And now he's just a detective agent who's undercover as a chicken. Oh! And as they take the perp away, he's like, just wait, my brother's gonna come after you! And some other sort of, bad threat. Which, the brother's gonna have to do, some, detective work on his own. Because, now that they've solved the case, Gardner's not gonna be going back to the chicken place. I don't think. So, they're gonna have to go to the chicken place and ask, oh, who's that detective that you hired? And I feel like the chicken place probably will not tell him. Unless he has a gun. But then that's the cashiers, and cashiers probably don't know. So you're gonna have to search and ask okay, what detective agency has Hasselhoff? Which, I guess that would narrow it down, because there's only one detective agency in town that Hasselhoff works at. So, but Gardner, for some reason, only takes the top half of his chicken costume off and is driving home in the Shaft 7 mobile, which I call that because his license plate says Shaft 7. But then it breaks down because it's overheated, and he's trying to figure out what to do because, like me, I guess he's not a car guy. He doesn't know the inner workings of cars and what to do to fix it. And so he's just there in his chicken costume. But luckily, this really hot chick drives by, and she's like, oh, hey, handsome, you're in a chicken costume. And she's a lawyer. She's a hot lawyer. So I assume this lawyer thing is going to come into play. The fact that, she brought up that she's a lawyer. And Gardner's probably going to need a lawyer. But more importantly, he needs a ride home, which she gives. And then she's gonna ride him. Ha 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 ha. I hope so. I hope that pun did not go to waste. So please, Gardner, fuck her. So that she's gonna ride him. Damn it, I'm not even phrasing it well. She's gonna give him a ride, and then he's gonna give her a ride. Ha 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 ha. I lost it. I lost the moment. Meanwhile, Hasselhoff, he's upset because apparently they only got paid $100.02. So I don't know if that's because taxes were taken out or if the corporation was just kind of being a dick with that whole 2 cents thing. But apparently, as according to Angie Harmon, like, they only caught one of the bad guys. So, so they got to take some of that out. And, they assaulted a lot of customers. It wasn't really their fault. They didn't even really assault the customers. It was the bad guys. It was the bad guy that grabbed a hold of the cashier. So, that's not the Hasselhoff Detective Agency's fault. And, and they took all the money in the cash register. But, now that they know that there's a detective agency, those guys are not going to rob that chicken place again. They might rob a different one. I don't know. I'm still unsure of, is this a franchise and they've been robbing all different ones, or do they keep robbing the same chicken place? Which seems like a very bad idea. But Angie Hartman says, we're lucky that they decided not to sue. Actually, you're not lucky. Because you could countersue. And take that shit to people's court. And you might get some money. Or maybe not, because the corporation's going to have really fucking better lawyers than you. But, hey, if it does come up, Gardner just found a hot chick lawyer. She can defend him. I'm guessing that's where this episode goes. They get sued by the chicken corporation, and hot chick lawyer helps them and wins the case. Well, apparently the meth guys did their homework and found out where David Hasselhoff was. No, I'm not answering you. And see, in a professional, less honest podcast, they would just cut out the part where the phone called and I yelled at the phone. But not me. I am authentic. And or too lazy to later go and cut this out. So, but they found where the Hasselhoff Detective Agency is located in that nightclub owned by Lou Rawls. And I was just thinking to myself, Lou Rawls is in the credit, and I've only seen him in one episode. So this is episode number 2, because he's there. And Hasselhoff and Angie Harmon are there, and the meth guys come in, guns a-blazing, and they're like, "Want you to call the cops and tell them there's a hostage situation, and send the SWAT team, and call Hard Copy," or I forget what, it's a Hard Copy type news program. Well, Flash Copy. Flash Copy was, but Hard Copy and Inside Edition and all those those bad tabloid news TV shows. They want that. And Garner arrives at the scene because he's dropped off by his new lady friend, the hot lawyer chick, and just there in time to see all the cops pull up. Hey, there's a hostage situation. Although the one cop was like, "Garner, what are you doing here?" It's does he not know that Garner just kind of works out of this nightclub? Maybe he doesn't. They probably don't talk anymore. But, Garner just, it's his home. No, he doesn't live there. But, bad shit's about to go, because there's a hostage situation, and Garner is on the outside, so he can't do anything to help Hasselhoff and Angie Harmon, and Lou Rawls. Not that he'd be able to really do anything to help if he were on the inside. Inside the bar, the head meth guy, he wants Angie Harmon to make him a drink. Or just get him a beer, actually. But it has to be Angie Harmon. Can't be Hasselhoff. Can't be Lou Rawls. Because he's a chauvinist pig. So it has to be Angie Harmon. And he threatens to shoot the other guys if, they try to give him a beer. No! Angie Harmon! Meanwhile, more cops and the SWAT team show up. And I was thinking, why would you, demand the SWAT team to come? Are you planning to go out in a blaze of glory? But maybe that's why he wants Flash Copy there. Because if they're, covering it and the news, they might not want to... The police might not be so wanting to, jump the gun and go into a blaze of glory. Although, real news teams are going to come out, too. They're going to set... once they hear, oh, there's some sort of hostage situation, let's send our news team there to get any live reports. But so, the hostage lady, the head hostage negotiator lady, she talks to him and, what does he want? The only thing he wants so far is an interview with the lady from Flash Copy, Stormy Daniels. No, not Stormy Daniels. Stormy something. Stormy Daniels is, yeah. You know who she... If you don't know who she is, you Google it. But not while at work. Actually, you know what? Nowadays, you probably could Google Stormy Daniels at work. And there will be a lot of news stories. And not just pictures of her vag. So, maybe 5 years ago, you couldn't Google Stormy Daniels at work. But it's safe to Google her now. Where am I going with this? Yeah, some lady named Stormy something or other. She's the head lady from Flash Copy. And head meth guy wants an interview with her. Live. So Flash Copy girl goes in for her exclusive interview. And the head meth guy... I don't know why I keep calling him meth guy. He looks like a guy that cooks meth. But as far as we know, he has not cooked any meth. And plus saying head meth guy makes it sound like he does meth. And he has all his teeth. So neither application applies here. But anyhow... he makes his demand. He wants his brother released from prison, and he wants $1 million. And then he goes on to tell the sad tale of how, his parents just weren't around, and he had to raise his brothers, and by the time he was 14, had his own gun and was robbing places. Meanwhile, Hasselhoff has a plan. Because, see, Angie Harmon has some painkillers on her. So he crushes up a pill and pours it into a bottle of beer that he's going to give to one of the guys. Meanwhile, Lou Rawls is trying to talk to the younger brother and saying, the Andy Sonnenberg guy. And he's like, dude, you don't want to do this because, you don't want to go to jail and you don't want to go to prison. This is just bad, bad news. And I think he might be getting through. Because Andy Sonnenberg guy, this is his first time doing a crime. And, he's just nervous about it. Meanwhile, outside, the head negotiator tells Gardner that, they're just not going to give in to the demands. And once the Flash Copy lady comes out, the SWAT team's going in. Which, is all on Head Meth Guy's fault. Because he called for the SWAT team. He was the one that, make sure you call the SWAT team. Because what do you think is going to happen if the SWAT team's there? You think they're just going to sit around and not try to break in? So what the fucking SWAT team is for? Their whole plan, their whole purpose is to get into these situations, figure out how they're going to get inside and take down the bad guys and get the good guys out. That's what the SWAT team does. So why you would call for the SWAT team to come? Maybe he is planning on just going out in a blaze of glory. And, Flash Copy's going to have the exclusive interview before he gets gunned down. So Garner then goes up to the Flash Copy girl, Stormy, and he tells her, I've got a plan that's going to make you bigger than Geraldo. Was Geraldo still, the big, tabloid guy in, the night? This show's, 95, so I guess he probably still was... I don't know. Donahue, Oprah. Well, I guess this would have been around the time Oprah started moving away from being, tabloid trash to just complete trash. Yeah, I said it! it's not really a hot take to say fuck you, Oprah, for all the shit you've like brought upon the world. But yeah, and I mean, like Springer probably hadn't like, yeah, this might be like the early days of Springer when he hasn't quite like taken over the world. So yeah, Geraldo's probably like the top guy. And Gardner has a plan to make Stormy bigger than Geraldo. So, I don't know. She's going to help him save the day, which is what I'm guessing. Back inside, the head meth guy, the head bad guy, he's like all excited because he thinks he's going to become rich and famous. Well, dude, you're already famous, or infamous, which is more than famous, as the Three Amigos taught us. Because you're on TV and you're holding hostages. So you've got a little bit of fame. And then, yeah, because you're going to get that $1 million. Spoiler alert, you're not going to get the $1 million. The SWAT team is going to come in and curb stomp your head in. I'm sorry, I'm just telling you the truth. This is how the SWAT team operates. But he's so excited, and he's about to drink the spiked beer. And it's like, all right, plan into action. But oh, he spits the beer out because it's warm as piss, and he's just not going to drink warm beer. So how long have they been in this situation that his beer from earlier has already gone warm? Because, I mean, this is like a bar, so like their beer should be like ice cold. So it should last a while, right, before it turns into warm piss. But I didn't get a good look at the beer, though. It might have been a Bud Light, and that just tastes like piss from the get-go. So maybe the problem is just the type of beer you're drinking, dude. But, you know, he demands that Angie Harmon goes get some cold beer. And time for some improvising on a new plan. And Hasselhoff tells Angie Harmon to get the head guy to dance with her, because, you know, he totally has a boner for Angie Harmon. And can you blame him? I have a boner for Angie Harmon. I would fall for this trap too. So they dance, and he tries to get a little touchy-feely, grabbing her ass, but like, she's a proper woman, so she doesn't let him grab her ass. But of course they need music to dance, so he commands Lou Rawls to get at the piano and sing a song. And he sings this little slow blues number that's basically about being in jail. And Hasselhoff tells Andy Samberg wannabe, you know, he's singing about his true life. He killed his woman and spent some time in Alcatraz. You might want to rethink what you're doing because you don't want to go to jail. See, that's how you do it. You pick away at the weak link, and Andy Samberg, dude, is the weak link because he obviously doesn't want to go to jail. So you get him down, and the whole thing will crumble. And plus, I mean, slow dancing with Angie Harmon to a Lou Rawls song, you can't resist that trap. Damn it. I'm ready to give myself up, and I haven't even done anything wrong. Now, the head bad guy starts getting suspicious about this dancing with Angie Harmon, because she keeps moving him closer towards the window. And he knows, wait a minute, if I'm there in full view of the window, the SWAT snipers are going to shoot me. Which, dude, again, your fault for calling the SWAT team yourself. You asked for the SWAT team. And granted, even if you didn't, they were going to send the SWAT team anyhow. But you called them. So you have just put yourself in this predicament. And then he gets a call from Stormy, because this is part of her plan. Or Garner's plan. And she says she wants to do another interview right now. Because, you know, he's ratings gold. And he's like, yeah! Because remember, he wants to be rich and famous. So he's all for it. So he calls the hostage lady and saying, like, you know, let Stormy in because I want to do another interview. And the hostage lady is like, no can do. And he gets all angry. And he's like, yeah, well, you're going to do what I ask. And then he shoots Lou Rawls. Man, shit's just gotten real. He fucking shot Lou Rawls. Which, you know, isn't going to help your case because probably now the SWAT team really is going to come in and stomp your head in. he does let Lou Rawls leave the building so he could get medical attention because, this is just a warning that he's serious. But, if he doesn't get his way, next guy is going to be killed, dead. Next guy being David Hasselhoff because he's not going to kill Angie Harmon because he's got a boner for her. So the hostage lady agrees to let Stormy in. But this time, she's shown up. In addition to her camera woman, there's a sound guy. That's really Garner in disguise wearing a fake beard. Oh boy. Help has come on the way. What am I trying to say? Help is on the way. It has arrived. And so the head bad guy has an idea for a shot of him dancing, slow dancing with Angie Harmon, because if you're going to be on TV, why not? Take the advantage of dancing with Angie Harmon, because, let the world see your humongous boner for her. And, that's the way to gain the sympathy. People at home be like, yeah, he just wanted to dance with Angie Harmon. All I want of life is to dance with Angie Harmon, too. I can relate. But then suddenly, he shoots Garner because the fake beard was not a very good disguise. Which I'm not sure where he got the fake beard anyhow. Like, how did he get that, that quickly? Like, is there a costume shop nearby? Like, and he had, different clothes. Like, he had a whole costume. Like, I guess, there was enough time for him to get a costume between, them finally allowing Stormy to come in to do a further interview. So, yeah. So he shoots him. And David Hasselhoff has had all he can stand, and he can't stand no more. He jumps up and tackles the head bad guy, and he struggles with him, and they tussle on the pool table, and Hasselhoff smashes the bad guy's ankle with a pool stick, pool cue, whatever it's called, the stick that you play for pool. So I want to say pool cue, but there's the cue. I don't know. Whatever. You know what I'm saying. The stick for pool. He smashes the bad guy's ankle. Sure, I'm just losing it at this point. But then Andy Samberg, dude, points his gun at Hasselhoff. Will he pull the trigger? Can he pull the trigger? Does he have the guts? Or does he know that it's a step too far? Let's find out. So Hasselhoff starts talking sense to the kid, even though the head bad guy keeps telling him, just shoot him! Shoot him! But Hasselhoff's telling him, you at least gotta let the other people go. Garner, he's gonna die if he doesn't see medical attention right away. And if he dies, you're going up the river. And Andy Samberg kid is like, I don't want to shoot anyone! And the head bad guy, he's like, I'm gonna shoot him myself, and he lunges to get the gun from Andy Samberg. But it spooks him, and Andy Samberg ends up shooting the head bad guy, oh no, oh shit. But it's just in the shoulder, so I don't think he's gonna die. So, and Hasselhoff's gonna be your material witness, kid. So, I think at best, a light sentence in jail, but you're not going down for murder. So it's several days later, and because this is Baywatch Nights, we don't learn what the outcome of the trial or anything was. We're just back to Angie Harmon's trailer park, where the guys, Hasselhoff, Garner, and Lou Rawls, have shown up because she's made them lunch. Except I don't think she actually really cooked them. She just bought it. Some rotisserie chickens. Which, of course, they're not happy about because, this all started with the chicken. So Hasselhoff and Garner grab the chickens and throw them in the air. And we go to credits as we have a shot of a rotisserie chicken just flying. Which is actually kind of in its own weird little way, a beautiful shot. And it's a metaphor for the show, I think. Because if we're watching this, we're just as helpless and brainless as this rotisserie chicken falling through the sky. And that's my final thought. Sure. Whatever. So, 7 episodes down, and I'm coughing because I'm trying to figure out the math on how many episodes to go. 7 episodes down, too many episodes to go. I don't know. 44 minus 7, that will tell you how many episodes I still have left to go. And I'm crying because I can't stand it. I love you all. velvetl@hotmail.com if you just want to laugh at me or something.